I'm absolutely thrilled to say that the aim down sight system I've been working on for the past month or so is looking pretty great. We can aim down sight with both scopes, and we have different reticles and zoom levels as well. So let's get right into how I was able to obtain this result. The first step was to set up a system where we now use dynamic material instances to represent the materials on the weapon and the arms for the first person character. And the only issue with doing this is it's a big performance hit when you do this to all meshes in the game. So I had to set up an optimization system where we only apply these dynamic material instances to the locally controlled characters. And the first reason why these materials need to be dynamic is because we need to make sure that the arms and weapon are being rendered at a separate field of view from the rest of the scene. So, because of how first person shooters work, the weapon and arms only look good at a very specific field of view, and we want to be able to adjust the rest of the field of view with a field of view slider like they have in Call of Duty. And to get this, we can update the materials to render everything at this specific field of view that everything will look good in. And the next change we had to make to our material was creating what's called an opacity mask, because we need to hide this currently selected area of the mesh when we are in the aim down sight state. And the reason is because when you look down the optic, particularly if it's a low zoom optic like an iron sight or a red dot, you'd actually be able to see this part of the barrel of the weapon in the sight picture. So that's no good, and that's why we have to hide it like you see here, so you only see that back part of the weapon. And I had to do this for every optic and attachment in the game. We then get to the next problem where the actual optics on these meshes don't look very good, to be perfectly honest. So what I did was make another component called the optic glass that will switch depending on the sight that we have equipped. So here you can see the optic glass for the red dot, and as you can see, it just goes right on the sight where you'd expect that sight picture to be. And what we do is we hide the actual material on the original sight. So now we're just seeing a plane with that glass material in the reticle, and that's pretty much it. And next up, I have a task for doing this process with the other optics that we have in the game. So as you can see here, we have the Hollow and ACOG, and you previously saw the Sniper, Red Dot, and the Iron Sights. And I think with these 5, we're going to be good to go from a mesh perspective for the alpha release of the game. So that's great to see. And next up, we had a bug that, as you can see, gave us a pretty wonky result when we tried aiming down sight with our secondary weapon. And the reason for this turned out to be that we were creating the dynamic material instances for this secondary weapon from the dynamic material instance from the primary weapon, because the meshes are the same M4. And that is a big issue for Unreal's backend. And once I fixed this, I was able to solve this bug, but it was a little bit of a pain to diagnose. And next up, we have our aim down sight sensitivity, and it's just a simple multiplier. And I made a different value for mouse and key versus controller, and high zoom and low zoom optics, just as a little quality of life feature. And after taking credit for the devlog you're watching right now, that gives us 28 points for the sprint. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. I was busy in my day job, and I'm working on another project that I'm really excited to show you guys in the background as well. And with all that being said, I'm going to give myself a solid B for this sprint. I know it was less points than the last time I gave myself a B, but with the other stuff going on, I think I deserve it this time. And speaking of the other project I'm working on, If you are watching this and you're struggling to learn Unreal Engine, running into roadblocks, or just gave up because you were having a hard time slogging through the YouTube tutorials, just hit me up on Discord or email. I'll have both of those in the description, and I'd love to talk about it and hear about the issues that you're having. And if you liked this video, feel free to leave it a like or leave a comment to say what's up. It really helps bring more people to the video, so I really appreciate it. And if you want to keep up with this game's development, definitely subscribe to the channel for further updates. And with all that being said, thank you so much as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.